First, Larry Salander is one of the biggest names in New York's art world.
He was a big deal. People would look at him and say, that's a really successful dealer.
But collectors see red when he swipes more than $100 million from their pockets.
You'd see him in the auction rooms bidding. He seemed to have money. He was a first-class art dealer.
Salander's client...
He talked at the speed of a machine gun, and it was very entertaining to be around him in that sense. A lot of collectors are men, and successful men. A lot of them are, you know, like stories, guy stories, and I think Salander was very good at that.
Island.
He was very gruff speaking, and contrary to almost any profile you might think of in terms of what an art dealer would look like, sound like, dress like, and act like.
Around this time, Larry Salander begins a big expansion of his business. So far, Salander is focused on scouting lesser-known artists. Now, he wants to step into the arena of the old masters.
Old masters, kind of like a kitchen sink category for things that could be over, say, 200 years old. French, German, Spanish, Italian.
Salander's new business model requires new space. He moves into an opulent neoclassical mansion on East 71st Street.
One of these beautiful 19th century buildings with a big staircase, beautiful rooms, beautifully appointed. You walked in and you thought, oh my God, this place is a palace.
The rent, an astonishing $150,000 a month.
You've got to sell a lot of art to make that kind of rent roll.
Salander spares no expense in his personal life either. In the summer of 2007, Larry Salander appears to be a successful Manhattan art dealer. Salander travels around the world by private jet, owns multi-million-dollar homes, and runs a spectacular gallery chock full of priceless art.
I don't think anyone ever questioned, like, you don't say, gee, I wonder if that guy pays his bills on time. You don't think about that when you're standing in a $40 million mansion on the Upper East Side.
But by fall, longtime clients are starting to see through the masterful illusion Salander has created. Salander is running two schemes. In some cases, he's selling paintings and conveniently forgetting to send the proceeds to the consigners, artists, and their estates. Victims include Robert De Niro, who believes 12 of his father's paintings have been stolen.
He was simply stealing paintings from estates or people that weren't keeping track of what was really in the gallery.
Salander's also selling shares of paintings, but the numbers don't add up. In one notorious case, he sells shares equivalent to 350% of the painting's value. This scam is exactly what happens to former tennis pro John McEnroe, a gallery owner himself, and longtime friend of Salander.
There's something kind of evil about it in terms of, you know, you have someone in your confidence and then you fleece them. And it's not just one, you know, it's not like Robin Hood or something. He was really ripping everybody off.
By October of 2007, Salander is facing nearly 50 suits, claiming he owes $100 million.
Lawsuits were just literally like coming into the courts, being filed every day.
Amid all this turmoil, Salander plans his largest exhibit yet, featuring Caravaggio's Apollo the Lute Player that he claims is worth $100 million. Art journalist Judd Tully interviews Salander before the big exhibit.
It was one of the most bizarre interviews I've ever done.
The dealer appears to be under tremendous pressure as the art world buzzes about his financial troubles.
One of the employees had brought a fancy silver tray with this bottle of scotch and glasses and put it down on the table in front of us, and I'm going, now this is not cocktail hour. You know, and Larry is like taking a big slug. It's a conspiracy. I'm being attacked. You know, this is chump change compared to the millions of dollars I've made for every one of these ungrateful people.
After this strange interview, Salander prepares for his big comeback exhibit, but it's not meant to be. On the day of the opening, a judge orders the gallery closed and the doors padlocked to prevent any more paintings from being sold. Larry Salander is locked out of his own gallery. The event sends shockwaves through the art world, and his story is making headlines.
His son tried to punch out one of the cameramen that were showing the marshals coming and closing the doors, and his son just completely flipped out.
A few weeks later, Salander declares bankruptcy.
The gallery.
Other stolen paintings have a paper trail, but even if they can be located, it can be difficult to get the new owner to relinquish the painting.
If it was stolen, then you found out that some CEO in, Walnut Creek, California owns your painting. I mean, good luck getting it back, because he's just going to call his lawyer.
The Manhattan District Attorney indicts Salander on 100 counts, including grand larceny and fraud, and he's arrested in March 2009. Prosecutors say Salander swindles 30 victims out of $120 million, primarily to finance his pursuit of the old masters and to maintain his extravagant lifestyle.
It's the biggest art world scam that I've ever encountered.
Though Salander is known as a rough-and-tumble businessman, he apparently doesn't have the stomach for a prolonged court battle. In March 2010, Larry Salander pleads guilty to 29 counts of grand larceny and 1 count of scheming to defraud.